Hi, my name is Dawn Blessing, and my colleague and friend Daphne, Marcella, and I are very excited to be meeting with you at the retreat in January at Bob's Lake. We will be facilitating a variety of things over the course of the weekend that we hope will be fun, relaxing, and also things that you can take with you that you might want to practice or experiment with in your everyday life. So today I'm going to lead a short mindfulness meditation practice. And then I'm going to leave you with some questions that you may want to consider and perhaps bring with you to the retreat. And if you wish to pause the video right now, you can find a chair, or if you're already a meditator, your cushion or mat or meditation bench to be seated on. And of course, this meditation can be done lying down as well, if for any reason you're uncomfortable being seated in any position. And I'm going to go ahead and resume the facilitation of the mindfulness meditation practice right now. So in your seated position, for instance, if you're seated in a chair, it can be very helpful for you to have your feet flat on the floor. So we want to be stable in the seated position in such a way that we're able to maintain the seated position without much effort. We would like our bodies to be upright, so our spine is upright, but not working too hard to do that. And we want our front bodies to be loose and soft so that the breath is going in and out with as much ease as possible. Palms of the hands are down on the thighs of the legs. And your eyes can be open or closed for this practice. If your eyes are open, then just allow your gaze to be soft and focused at a place in front of you, maybe 3 or 4 feet if possible. And if your eyes are closed, see if you might allow them to just relax in that closed position. So mindfulness meditation, there are lots of different ways to meditate, so this is only one way. The meditation itself is what we're doing right now. We're setting aside a specific time to practice. And this will be a short practice, which is still valuable. And some people, if you're meditators, may practice for longer periods of time. So there's really no right or wrong way, let's say. And the mindfulness part is that we're going to be present with our experience. So with our entire experience as much as possible from one moment to the next. And for today, we're going to use the breath as a way to anchor ourselves to the present moment. So the breath is something we don't have to go somewhere to get. We have it with us all the time. We can rely on it to keep us alive in this world. The moment that we're not breathing, then that means that we're no longer here. So we use the breath as a way to anchor ourselves. There are other ways to anchor, and I can talk about those when we're at the retreat. But really, we're trying to be present with our experience, our physical experience, our emotional experiences, the experiences of our minds, the thoughts that we have, the stories that go on from one moment to the next, but just being present as much as possible. So to begin with, let's just take 3 in-breaths and out-breaths. Breathing in, we know that we're breathing in. Breathing out, we know that we're breathing out. And for today, we won't be too concerned about whether we're breathing through our nose or through our mouth. Just taking that breath in whatever way is comfortable for you. So again, breathing in, we know that we're breathing in. Breathing out, we know that we're breathing out. And then let's just check in with our bodies. So just the physical sensations of the body itself. As I say that, just noticing what it is that you become aware of in your own body, the sensations that you may feel in various parts of your body in this moment in time. Again, we're not looking for anything in particular. We're just opening ourselves to the experience of our physical bodies just as they are in this moment in time. We're also not trying to change that experience. We're just noticing it. And then softly but gently taking in perhaps our emotional experience, the feelings that we happen to be sitting with at this moment in time. And even as I say that, just noticing for yourself, what am I feeling right now? What emotions are sitting with me in this moment in time? Again, we're not trying to make any of them disappear, but nor are we trying to hold on to them. We're just noticing, and there may be several that we become aware of in these few moments in time. And then again, slowly and gently, taking in the mind itself, what thoughts are running through our minds, what storylines happen to be there at the moment. Just noticing the mind, the busyness that may be going on there. Or perhaps right now there's nothing in particular that you're aware of, which is just fine too. The mind really is at the center of most of our day. It wanders into the past, it wanders into the future constantly, as well as taking in our moments in time as we're in them. And that's what we're intent on being, is being here in this moment in time as much as possible. Just allowing our awareness to take in our full experience from one moment to the next. And then let's just rest on the sensation of our breath just as it is. So the sensation of the in-breath, the sensation of the out-breath, depending upon whether we're breathing through our nose or our mouth, we may find a difference in how the air feels coming in and going out. Perhaps an exchange of cool air on the in-breath and warm air on the out-breath. There may be a tingling in the nostrils as the breath goes in and out. We may feel the air actually flowing down the back of our throat or across our tongue if we're breathing through our mouth, and even passing over our lips. We may become aware of the rising and the fall of the chest or the belly. So just place your awareness on the sensations of the breath, wherever they happen to be, and wherever they're most prominent, and just rest there. Just rest gently on the flow of your breath, the in-breath and the out-breath. You can even note to yourself if it's helpful. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. In just those few minutes that passed, there's a good chance that you lost your place in this moment in time. It happens to all of us. It's not uncommon. It's the most common thing that people talk about when they begin meditation, thinking that somehow or another the goal is to not do that. And so we just include that as an awareness of our experience. I was aware of my experience, of my breath, and then I wasn't. No big deal. So we just come back to the experience of the breath, the in-breath and the out-breath, just as it is. It doesn't really matter what called us away, whether it was a particular storyline or various thoughts, perhaps a strong feeling of discomfort or comfort in the body that we were treasuring, a strong feeling or emotion that arose. It doesn't really matter. No big deal. We come back to resting on the breath just as it is in this moment in time. The gentle flow of our in-breath and out-breath. And becoming aware of the breath wherever it's most prominent for you in this moment in time. Breathing in, we know that we're breathing in. Breathing out, we know that we're breathing out. And so in a few moments, we're going to bring this practice to a close. And as we do so, we can express some gratitude to ourselves for participating in the practice at this time, regardless of what our experience has been. So we're experimenting with noticing perhaps some judgment of what's taken place and just suspending that judgment for right now. Just allowing things to be exactly as they have been, exactly as they are. And if your eyes have been closed, you can gently open them, allow them to adjust to the change in the light. You may be hearing my cat meowing. She likes to meditate with me. And if your eyes have just been resting in a soft gaze, you can lift your gaze and perhaps move your body around just a little bit. So some of the questions that I usually ask people when I facilitate this meditation practice is, so what did you notice during the practice? What was your experience? And were there any questions that arose during the practice that you'd like to bring forth right now? I can tell you that without question, one of the most common things that people talk about was, I just couldn't stop my mind from thinking. My mind was really busy, was taking me away all the time. So oftentimes people jump to the conclusion, oh, I can't do this. I'm not a good meditator. Well, let me just tell you, the good news is that this happens to all of us. Experienced meditators, intermediate meditators, beginning meditators. It's something that we all have in common. The mind is a busy place and a good thing because it's very useful to us in our everyday lives. And of course, it's also useful to be able to reflect on things from the past and to plan for things in the future. But the reality is that we spend a good bit of time there. And when we do that, we miss out on what's happening in the present moment. And so this practice is a way for us to experiment with just taking a look at that and seeing if we can bring our awareness into the present more often, because that's where we live. Whatever's happened in the past is over. Whatever we're hoping for or planning for in the future has yet to come. And here we are. Here we are living in this present moment. So be there if we can. Be there if we can. And it's not to be dismissive of the mind, again, pondering or reflecting on things from the past or looking forward to or planning for things in the future. The other thing that people talk about is what to do with discomfort in particular. So the other thing I will tell you right now is that we're allowed to adjust our posture. We're allowed to move around a little bit if we need to. And we're also able to just sit with the discomfort if we want, just to investigate it a little bit more. What the sensations of the discomfort are, what's really pressing on us in terms of the discomfort. Oftentimes, discomfort really leads the mind to think that there's something wrong, that we need to fix something. So we have a chance to really see what discomfort is more about. And oftentimes, if we don't resist the discomfort, it will pass more quickly. So I hope that this little glimpse into mindfulness meditation is helpful, and I encourage you to investigate mindfulness preceding the retreat. There will be a number of activities that we will do that are centered around mindfulness and self-compassion. I didn't talk very much about that today, but I will during the retreat. And there will be some things that we'll do that are totally unrelated. So again, we look forward to seeing you and excited about joining you at the retreat in January. Bye for now.